Hey, so hello and welcome to the podcast. I'm joined today by Murielle Fellous. Murielle, would you like to introduce yourself and tell everyone about yourself?
Hi, Mark. So as you can hear, I was born and raised in France, and I lived 25 years in the US, where I I was coaching people on relationships and raising my kids as a single mom. And when my kids became teenagers, they really started acting out and doing things that were potentially dangerous, which literally spiraled me into depression without me even realizing, until I got to a place where I had thoughts like, I would love to disappear. It's too much. I was waking up in the middle of the night with palpitations, in anxiety, afraid that my kids would try something at a party and I would find them dead. Really horrible, horrible thoughts. So what I did when I realized that I was depressed, because I saw a checklist of the signs for depression and I was checking almost all of them,
Mhm.
I literally did what I taught my clients to do. I went back to I always meditate, but I doubled my amount of meditations. I used emotional freedom therapy, which is a technique that we're going to cover today. Every time I was in anxiety, to bring my body back to a neutral state of emotional state. And I did a lot of affirmation, thought redirection. I really intervened on these horrible thoughts that I had that were creating the anxiety.
Mhm.
And once I was on the other side of that, that took a few months. It had been so painful that I decided to redirect my business to help moms like me with teenagers who were acting out and were depressed, because we had things happening in my house after that episode of depression where I changed the way that I do life. I started involving what I call the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, way more in my decision making. I was asking for help, and I was making sure that I was making myself available emotionally to see and receive the help, which means being in an emotional state that is at least neutral, if not higher. And I had the words co-parenting with the universe come to my mind. I said, that's what I'm calling my business, because that's what I do every day. And I started coaching moms. Um, all this was difficult, but like very often in life, difficulty will teach you something for what's coming after, because what came after was even more difficult. I had one of my teens commit a suicidal attempt, and because of the way that I had changed my parenting, I was able to deal with that with way more strength and ease, and I would say even some peace of mind, because that's, in one day when something happens, if it doesn't hold your entire day hostage, you can have peace of mind amidst chaos. And so I was able to deal with that way more easily than I would have if I didn't change. In a nutshell.
Excellent. And are both of your children okay now?
Now, thank God everyone is okay. I still have one at home and he's fine. We actually moved across the world a year ago,
Mhm.
and he's adapting really well. He loves it. He wanted a change too. So everything is great. Thank you.
Super. And how's your relationship with them?
We are so bonded because being a single mom, you already have very strong bonds with your kids because you're going through stuff as a family together. But that episode there was a trust that was already there that became even stronger.
Mm.
And that I had to learn, of course, to let my kids become adults, let them make their mistakes, the other two that are bigger. But we have an amazing relationship.
Fantastic. And would you say that doing the work that you did improved your relationship with your kids? Or?
Yes, because I learned that I couldn't control anyone. That was one of the reasons of my anxiety. I was trying to control them to keep them safe. But as you know, we don't control anyone. So I had to learn to trust and relinquish that part to life, God, the universe, and focus on having a relationship with them. To the work for me was to see the good things that were in the relationship, the things that were okay. Apart from the side that we had challenges, there were plenty of things that were okay, that were positive, that were working. So really focus on that and not make all the relationship about the challenges. And that was a learning curve for me. I really had to change.
Absolutely, that's good advice for anything and life in general, not to try and control and focus on the good things.
Yes, I mean, otherwise you're going to weaken yourself to go through your challenges.
Absolutely. So EFT, emotional freedom therapy, you call it. Can you tell us more about that?
It's a combination of ancient wisdom, because we use the energy meridians, the nervous meridians and energy meridians that they use in acupuncture. And we mix some elements of modern psychology, cognitive behavior therapy, exposure therapy, and I also add some NLP into it. And what it does is, when we have a challenge, we perceive it as a threat, because our brain, our reptilian brain, is still programmed like when we were cavemen and cavewomen and there was a predator coming to eat us or kill us. So our brain, the stress center in the brain, is activated, and we get to what we call fight, flight, or freeze response, which is literally get ready to fight or get ready to run. And it doesn't help with our everyday challenges, because our brain does the blood flow that goes to the frontal brain, the frontal cortex, the most recent analytic brain, is detoured to be ready to fight or to run. So we can't think straight. We don't quote unquote do life with our whole brain. And what EFT does, it's also called tapping. It intercepts that stress response in the brain and in the body, so that you can come back to a neutral state. And it even now there are over 100 studies on the tapping, on EFT. It has the potential to rewire the brain, to change the way you do life, to change your auto response to life, to change you can change beliefs with it. It's very, very powerful. It looks a little bit weird, though. I need to tell people that, but it is powerful.
So EFT has been shown to rewire the brain and change thoughts. Do you know anything more about the way that happens with EFT?
Or what do you mean? Where did that happen? Or
how does it happen?
It happens. So let's say that you have an area with challenges in your life. You have a problem. You associated an emotional reaction to that problem. Let's say, if we talk, since I coach a lot of moms, or we can talk about relationships in general, you have a challenge with a person. And every time you think about that challenge or that person, you have a stress reaction in your body. It's associated. And because it's already in place, it was already installed. And every time you thought about that person, you reinforced that pathway into your brain. You reinforced your reaction,
Mm-hmm.
soon enough, as soon as you think about that, you are in stress. What EFT does, it will break. You will think about the problem, and we can do a demonstration here to where we pick a problem, or we pick someone that drives you nuts. I know you probably don't have anyone like that in your life. I do. Very often you have people who make you react, or a problem at work, whatever it is. You think about it, and as you think about it, you tap on the energy and nervous meridians with your fingers. It intercepts that stress reaction, that biochemical chain of reaction in your body, and soon enough it will break the neural association. It will break the emotion, the negative emotion that you have associated with that problem, and you become more neutral. And from there, you can pick another thought and start associating with repetition and affirmations, even if you want, during the tapping, to start associating something more positive to it. I know that for me, to give you an example, when I was waking up in the middle of the night and I was thinking about all the dangers that my kids could be in, I tapped, and I had to really intervene on my body and tap to be able to even think about something more neutral, because I was in such a loop of negative reaction that all the thoughts that were coming to me were negative ones, and thoughts of threats. Mm-hmm. So that's how it works. I don't know if it answered your question.
How long did you need to tap for to reduce your anxiousness?
So if you're talking about the body sensation and the anxiety, sometimes in a few minutes it just disappears. When we're talking about trauma and stuff that are deeper, of course, you will need several sessions, but you will address an aspect of that story every single time, to where normally I do sessions with people. I usually take an hour. We don't tap the entire hour, because we first talk about it, then we tap, let's say, for 20 minutes, then we see where we are. And it really depends, but that's very, very quick to work on the nervous system.
So if you wake up in the middle of the night and you're anxious, you can tap for a couple of minutes, and that reduces the anxiety.
And what I tell people about waking up in the middle of the night with anxiety, tap, acknowledge what is, but also come back to the present moment while you tap, acknowledging that right now you're safe. There is no danger around you. Right now, you're okay. Right now, everything is well. Right now, you have the resources to address your emotional reaction. All kinds of affirmations that make you feel safer. And when you combine that with a message, with the tapping, a message to your nervous system that right now you're okay, you can calm down in a matter of minutes. Yeah.
Yes.
And you can do that as many times as you need. I mean, if you wake up another time, you can do that again. And over time, you teach your brain to calm down.
Mm-hmm. Super. Okay. And so what else can in EFT be useful? Can it be used for other emotions? Or?
I use it for pain, because I have a lot of backache, and pain is something physical, but there is an emotional aspect to it, to where EFT has been proven to be able to lower the pain level by 60% sometimes, because we have a story associated with that pain. Very often there is something in the past that attached itself to that pain. If we're talking about, for example, a diagnosis, you may be mad at the doctor who gave you the diagnosis. You may be mad at life for having that problem. So that's one thing that I use it a lot for. Cravings. I work with that on myself. I haven't worked with clients, but I know some people do. Phobias, It's very, very effective with phobias. What am I thinking about? People, when you, let's say you're at work and your boss said something that triggered you. When I was working in an office, I used to go to the bathroom and start tapping to calm myself, because you're not as resourceful when you're upset. So basically, every time you're upset, you can start tapping. I also use it with my meditations in the morning, like just one round of tapping to let go of the stress, whether I know that I have it or I don't, because sometimes we carry stuff on an unconscious level. Of course, trauma, PTSD, they use it in with the veterans with a lot of success, and that's what comes to mind. It's very versatile.
And can you use EFT with positive affirmations as well?
I do that. So you can use it to anchor positive affirmations, but what I notice with myself and with my clients is that you're going to start saying something positive. Let's say, I deserve love. And right away, just after you finish that sentence, you have a voice that says, no, you don't. Or, yes, if you lose 10 pounds, or I don't know, some kind of negative belief. I love doing that with tapping, because then you can tap on the negative belief. You can address what is under the surface that you didn't even know was there. And you can supercharge your affirmations, your positive affirmations, installing a new belief. Once you've cleaned what is in the way, you can supercharge and do that. I just did a challenge that I'm going to post on my website about tapping with chakras and tapping on related to each chakra 5 minutes a day to work with an issue that relates to a specific chakra. Even 5 minutes a day, over time, you're going to start changing the way you think.
Excellent. So would you like to take us through a tapping sequence?
I would love that. So what I'm going to do is, if you don't mind, I'm going to take you as the example, and you can pick, and for the audience, same thing. Pick something that stresses you. If you don't have to reveal it if you don't want to reveal it, but pick something that upsets you, stresses you, or where you have anxiety about.
I don't know. The state of the world.
The what?
The state of the world.
Oh, that's an excellent one, because that's a lot of people are dealing with that right now. So what I'm going to ask you to do, and ask the audience to do, is to really go into the feeling of it, to where 0 is, it doesn't disturb me at all. 10 is like, it's overwhelming. You want to be at a 5 or higher, to where, pick a specific. With EFT, the more specific you are, the better it is. So if there is an issue, I don't know, the war in Ukraine, or something very specific that is upsetting and scary, pick that and assess, give it a number. Where are you from 0 to 10?
Right now, I struggle to bring up any feeling related to anything.
Okay, then how do you feel about your struggle to not be able to bring a feeling? Do you react to that? Does it stress you?
No.
You're very calm then. Because what I wanted is for you to feel the effect of it. And if you can't feel it, you won't feel the effect of it. That's why. I don't know. one that is very common to people also is lack of time. People like have so many things to do in one day. They don't have enough time. That creates some kind of tension in the body. Does that work for you?
No.
No.
Procrastination. Procrastination is an issue.
Okay. And how do you feel about that right now? If you think about it, can you bring a feeling into your body about it? Even if you can't name it, anxiety, you can?
I have a feeling. Have a feeling.
Okay. And from 0 to 10, where is it?
It's pretty low. It's say 6.
Okay. So we're going to go with that. And I saw you did like that, so it's in your chest.
Yes.
How would you describe it? Is it a contraction? Is it a tension? Is it a pressure?
It's pressure.
Okay. So would it ring true for you if we call it this pressure about procrastination? Okay. So we're going to use that. For the audience, they pick their own problem and they give it their own title. It can be my problem with my kid, my not enough time during the day. Whatever they want to pick, they give it a short title. They locate where does it disturb them in their body. It can be in their head. You can have a headache about it. The neck is very often tensed when we are stressed. It can be in the chest like you. And be aware of that and be aware of the number where they are. And now we're going to start tapping. So I'm going to just demonstrate the points and people can feel. I will name them for the people who are. Do you have an audio version of your podcast or?
I do, yeah.
Okay, so I'll describe them for the people who are listening to that on audio. The first tapping point is on the side of the hand, on the flesh between the pinky, below the pinky and the wrist. And we're going to tap with 3 fingers. And I'll explain the point as we go through it. And we're going to start with an anchoring statement that we're going to repeat 3 times. I will say it and I'll give you space to repeat. Even though I have this pressure in my chest about my procrastination.
Even though I have this pressure in my chest about my procrastination.
I accept myself completely and I accept how I feel.
I accept myself completely and I accept how I feel.
So even though I have that pressure in my chest about the procrastination.
Even though I have that pressure in my chest about procrastination.
I accept how I feel. I'm sorry.
I accept how I feel.
And I accept myself completely.
And I accept myself completely.
One last time. Even though I have pressure in my chest because of my procrastination.
Even though I have pressure in my chest because of my procrastination.
I accept myself completely and I accept how I feel.
I accept myself completely and I accept how I feel.
Now we're going to go on the top of the head with 2 or 3 fingers. That pressure in my chest.
That pressure in my chest.
We're going to go at the beginning of the eyebrow on the bridge of the nose. That pressure that I feel in my chest right now.
That pressure that I feel in my chest right now.
Side of the eye, on the corner of the eye, on the bone. That pressure in my chest that is at the number 6.
That pressure in my chest that is at the number 6.
Under the eye, on the bone. I don't like feeling pressure like that.
I don't like feeling pressure like that.
Under the nose, between the nose and the mouth. All is related to my procrastination.
All is related to my procrastination.
Under the mouth. I have pressure in my chest because I procrastinate.
I have pressure in my chest because I procrastinate.
under the collarbone on the soft points.
Mm-hmm.
That procrastination that gives me a physical symptom.
That procrastination that gives me a physical symptom.
Under the arm where the bra line would be for a woman.
Mm-hmm.
That procrastination that I don't like.
That procrastination that I don't like.
Top of the head. I don't like procrastinating.
I don't like procrastinating.
Eyebrow point. And my body is letting me know that I don't like it.
And my body is letting me know that I don't like it.
Side of the eye. Not only do I procrastinate, but I have pressure in my chest.
Not only do I procrastinate, but I have pressure in my chest.
Under the eye. And I know it doesn't help me.
And I know it doesn't help.
Under the nose. That pressure in my chest won't help me stop procrastinating.
The pressure in my chest won't help me stop procrastinating.
It doesn't change anything.
It doesn't change anything.
Collarbone. If anything, it makes things worse.
If anything, it makes things worse.
Under the arm, because now I procrastinate and I don't feel good about it.
I procrastinate and I don't feel good about it.
Top of the head. I wonder if I could let go of that pressure in my chest.
I wonder if I could let go of that pressure in my chest.
Eyebrow point. I'm not sure I can.
I'm not sure I can.
Side of the eye. But it doesn't help.
It doesn't help.
Under the eye. If I want to have a chance to stop my procrastination, I need to feel better.
If I want to have a chance to stop my procrastination, I need to feel better.
I now acknowledge that this pressure doesn't help me.
I now acknowledge that this pressure doesn't help me.
Under the mouth. I know it probably relates to a judgment about myself.
I know it probably relates to a judgment about myself.
Collarbone, but it doesn't help.
But it doesn't help.
Under the arm. So for now, I'm going to let some go.
For now, I'm going to let some go.
Top of the head. It is safe to let go of the pressure in my chest.
It is safe to let go of the pressure in my chest.
Eyebrow point. It will help me deal better with my procrastination.
It will help me deal better with my procrastination.
Side of the eye. It will help me have all my brain to deal with what's going on.
It will help me have all my brain to deal with what's going on.
Under the eye. I now choose to let go of the pressure in my chest.
I now choose to let go of the pressure in my chest.
Under the nose. I now choose to let go of the pressure and invite a solution to my procrastination.
I now choose to let go of the pressure and invite a solution to the procrastination.
Under the mouth. I will find a way to deal and understand that oh my gosh, procrastination.
I will find a way to deal with the procrastination.
I now let go of the pressure in my chest.
I now let go of the pressure in my chest.
Under the arm. I let go of the pressure and I access all my inner resources.
I let go of the pressure and I access all of my inner resources.
And top of the head, I invite a solution and a new understanding.
I invite a solution and a new understanding.
And now take a deep breath. Stop tapping. And that's something really quick. I mean, if I was with a client, we would go down into the procrastination to see what's under it. But just to relieve, where do you feel now? Where is the pressure in your chest from 0 to 10?
It's gone.
It's gone?
Mm-hmm.
So that's usually what happens. And And then you can go layer by layer. You would, after that, investigate the procrastination. What is it about and all that? I know my procrastination is always related to fear.
Yeah.
Bless you. Bless you.
I think I have allergies.
Oh, I have a ton of allergies. That's not even, I couldn't speak for almost a month when I was in the US because of the change of climate.
Really?
Yeah. I was in Las Vegas and it was so dry. I kept on coughing. I couldn't do anything. So that's a short demonstration about EFT. I'm sure if people watch it on video, it looks a little bit weird. Sometimes we look a little bit like monkeys, especially when we tap on the head. So if you want to use it, find a private spot. Although I sometimes do it in the airplane. I just do the collarbone point discreetly. And I'm always like, I love that technique. So if people are going to get curious and ask me, I'll explain it to them. But if you want more privacy, go in the bathroom or go anywhere you're going to be on your own.
Absolutely. Excellent. Thank you, Murielle. Is there anything else you would like to tell us about EFT or your work?
What I want to tell people is what we feel can take us hostage. So to really, anywhere you go, whether it's your tools like hypnotherapy or EFT or anything, really there are a ton of resources out there. Don't hesitate to try and see what you resonate with. Maybe you resonate more with something else, and that's fine. But we have so many tools to help us live better. There is really no reason to suffer without doing anything. And the body is wise. It will tell us where to go. It will, because a lot of people don't know what to say when they tap. And I just say, tap and say what's going on. That's enough. And just express your desire to move on, to let it go. And that will help you already. Don't make things complicated. You have a lot of ways to help. Really take advantage of that, because life can be challenging, yes, but it can be magical too. It can be so beautiful. And really remember that. Remember that we are more than this body. We have access to a field of intelligence, a field of love, a field of information, our own wisdom, and use that.
Absolutely. Excellent. Thank you. And can you tell people once again where they can find you?
So they can find me at coparentingwiththeuniverse.com. And there they can see the videos. They can see I have a podcast for moms. They can find everything there.
Excellent. So coparentingwiththeuniverse.com.
Correct. Yes.
Excellent. And do you have any social media, or should they just go to your site?
So I have Instagram, and it's also under Co-Parenting with the Universe. And I have a Facebook group. I'm much less active than I used to be there, because for a question of time, but they can interact with me there whenever they want, and I can answer questions. I always try to help people where they need help. So if they want to suggest, I do a lot of free short video with tapping on several subjects on everyday's life problems. So if they want to suggest something, don't hesitate. I'm always there to help.
Excellent. Thank you, Murielle. Thank you for joining us.